Well, I guess this is my sound check. If anybody has their ears on tonight, um, let me know. Just playing around with some different feeds tonight. And if you are tuning in tonight on Facebook, Espresso Shots, you'll see it'll say Espresso Shots streaming by Vimeo, or you'll see Espresso Shots streaming by live stream. If you choose the live stream feed, I'll be able to interact with you. If you choose the Vimeo feed, I won't be able to. The reason I selected Vimeo feed tonight is because it's the only way that I can record the show without having to toggle back and forth right now. So anyway, just a little bit of advice because it posts twice, and this is really a glitch that Vimeo has itself between live streaming, which is a software product that Vimeo owns, and then Vimeo. So broadcasting to two different softwares, and rather than putting those two together, they end up going into two separate feeds. So one feed may say 20 viewers, one feed may say 15 viewers. You can view on multiple streams, but if you are viewing tonight and you happen to be on the Vimeo one, slide over to the one that says live feed, and then I can see your comments, and I can interact a little bit more with you guys. So having said that, so I see we have Frank from Slabtown is here. Cynthia is here. Bob North Crosby is here. In the house. Bob's in the house. Welcome to the house, Bob. And awesome. Awesome possum. Yes, I can certainly turn up the volume, Frank. Happy to do it.
It's a little too on the nose if you ask me. I mean,
No, it's going to be fine, and you look fabulous.
Okay.
Okay, here we go, and action.
Bump. Just adjusting some volume settings here for you guys. I got a few different things happening here tonight, so just hang tight, and we'll get things rolling here shortly. I've actually lost my volume on my end tonight. That's a first for me.
You're listening to Espresso Shots Live. Tune in every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. for your digital caffeine.
It's a little too
It's going to be fine, and you look fabulous.
Okay.
Okay, here we go, and action.
Just hang tight, folks. I have some technical glitches tonight going on. It's been a while since I've had a few, so I'm just going to disconnect my speaker and find out what is going on tonight. I lost my audio, which is not good. Spring Street is checking in, tuned in. Awesome, everyone's tuned in. Just Johnny's not tuned in tonight. Why am I not picking up any audio tonight? Bum bum, check 1 2, check 1 2. There's my audio. I'm gonna try this again, folks. Sorry for the delay. It wouldn't be a great shot of espresso shots if there weren't some errors at the beginning. So let's try to roll this again. Everybody's got audio except me tonight. All right. Welcome to Espresso Shots. My name is John, and in tonight's episode of Espresso Shots... Welcome to Espresso Shots. My name is John, and in tonight's episode of Espresso Shots Live, we are going to talk to Mr. Jim Scala from the Westport Lions Club and find out what those folks are up to this year. As you may know, or maybe you do not know, but the Westport Lions Club, those guys and gals are responsible for organizing the Westport Santa Claus Parade, which is scheduled to happen this Saturday. But because of the COVID-19 pandemic that you may have heard about, it's been on the news quite a bit, has been canceled. So that parade has been canceled, unfortunately. And so we want to find out what they're up to. Just because the parade is canceled doesn't mean that they're not still busy. And it's a great opportunity to learn a little bit more about the Lions Club. And while I'm thinking about cancellations, just a reminder as well, if you don't know, that the marketplace that was planned for this Friday night in Steve's Plaza has been canceled as well. But the shops are remaining open late this Friday for late night shopping. So there are still some events going on. European style market like we've had in the past few years will not happen. So unfortunate, but nonetheless, it's a great opportunity to get out there and shop local this Friday and get a little bit of that Christmas feel, that the spirit of Christmas. And there are a lot of great homes that are decorated up and a lot of great businesses that are decorated up. So a great night to walk around and just kind of soak in a little bit of Westport. So without further ado, let's go get Mr. Jim Scala and learn a little bit more about the Westport Lions Club. All right. But before we grab Jim, I don't see him here yet, but that's okay. I'm sure he will be here at some point. We got lots of people tuned in tonight, so welcome to the show. And I wanted to say thank you for choosing to spend a half an hour with the show Espresso Shots, and I'm glad people enjoy it. It's it's not without problems. There's always so much going on, and I always try to add new things into the show. Hey, Penny, thanks for watching tonight. And sometimes I overcomplicate things. That's one of my specialties, is making things more complicated than sometimes they need to be. But anyway, I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in and spending that half hour with us. So, friends, neighbors, the business community of Westport, and Rideau Lakes as well, and anybody that's watching from outside of the Rideau Lakes area, welcome to the show. And if it's your first time here, like I said, drop a comment, leave us a comment, let us know what's going on, and we'll try to keep you up to speed. So I don't see my guest here, but that's all right, because I have this segment that I always love to do called "What's in Your Cup," but unfortunately, I don't always do it very well, and I rush through it, and I don't kind of let people tell me what's in their cup. So I want to know what's in your cup tonight. And I can't hear you. Somebody cannot hear me. Why is that? Don't know. My screen is waiting for a host. Well, I got to Jim is waiting for a host. What happened to Jim? We'll have to send Jim another link. We can do that. Wow. All kinds of fun things going on here tonight. Anyway, we'll send Jim a link here. We'll get him on the show shortly here, so just hang tight. So what's in your cup tonight? So what is in my cup? I'm going to show you what's in my cup. I'm just going to slide this around here a little bit, if I can. Give you guys a shot of this here. So I am going to, tonight, can you see me? I'm in the shot here. So I'm going to make myself a beverage. And so I have some dark chocolate bourbon. I have a Breville smoker that I got for Christmas one year. I have some fresh maple chips here, some maple chips in the smoker. I have my handy dandy shot glass, and I have this big glass here that I'm going to use to cover this thing up. So I'm going to pour myself a shot of this bourbon here. Ooh, that's a good healthy shot. Frank, you would be impressed with that shot, wouldn't you? I know you would be. All right, so here comes the danger part of the show. Let's see if we can make this work out here. Nothing else has gone well tonight, so may or may not go well too. All right. We got some smoke coming out here. All right. We're going to put this underneath of our cup. I almost need an assistant down here to help me out. There we got it going on now here. Just move it back a bit. All right. Hadn't X-Acto knife, had to shave off those woohoo! Look at that. So we're gonna set this thing just to the side here. We're gonna take this here, we're gonna put that underneath of there. So we have so there we have right off to the side. I have my shot of chocolate. What is this called again? It's called bourbon dark chocolate, being smoked by maple. So it's a maple smoked. So I'm going to let that sit there. I'm just going to go find Jim. He's having some difficulties with the link, which means I have to send him another link, which I can do, but I just got to kind of maneuver around it here, which is not a big deal. Just hang tight with me, be patient, and be greatly appreciated. Okay. Find Facebook here. All right. Okay, Jim. What happened to you, Jim? Okay, sent Jim a new link. Put him down in the corner there. And look how much smoke is in this thing here. Look how smoky that is, eh? Ooh, can't wait. Can't wait to try it. Well, while we wait for Jim to show up tonight, I'm gonna just go see what other folks have in their cup tonight. Bob says, always an interesting beginning. Man, it's you know what, Bob? I thought I had things nailed tonight. I thought this is going to be a really simple show with no errors. But there's about 5 things that have gone wrong already. So, do. Well, I hope everybody is patient tonight. I've been doing this show, believe it or not, for 7 months. You think I'd be better at it by now, eh? 7 months. It's been 7 months and many episodes. English Scottish breakfast tea. Good call, Paul Miller. Thanks and welcome to the show, Paul Miller. Next week, Paul Miller will be joining us. We're actually going to do an episode on Christmas movies and all things Christmas with Paul Miller. So that'll be a great show next week. So put that on your calendar. Tune in for that. That should be a good one as well. I don't know what happened to my guest. Don't know where he went to. Well, you know what we can do? We can always do this. Why don't we play an episode of Happy McSunny? And hey, welcome to the show, Dave. Nice to see Mr. Dave Wickenen tuned in tonight. So I think I'm gonna run Happy McSunny. But actually, you know what? Before I do Happy McSunny, I'm going to have this. This. Are you ready? Next week, I'm gonna put my espresso in this cup and drink that. All right, cheers, everybody. Here's what's in my cup tonight: chocolate bourbon. Pretty nice, actually. It's got that little smoky maple taste. It's kind of like you know what it reminds me of? Almost like a pancake. Almost like almost like you're having a pancake. Fred's having coffee in his PJs. That's good. Let's gonna see if I can find Jim here again. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what happened to Jim. I'm not sure where he went to. Well, Jim, if you're watching or you're listening, I'm just waiting for you to kind of click on your link. He says here that he's looking for his link. Funny, we were linked up earlier tonight, but you never know. Things do go wrong, so that's okay. I think, well, why don't we go to Happy McSunny? I know Happy is always here. So let's kind of roll our Happy McSunny episode for you folks tonight. That's always worth the watch.
Good Wednesday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Happy McSunny, and I'm reporting to you live from the Westport and the Reno Lakes area. Wow, it's really starting to look a lot like Christmas. This week, the weather's not going to be too bad. We're going to get a bit of rain tomorrow, but then after that, we're going to have some sun with a little bit of clouds for the next 4 or 5 days and a high of 8. So if you don't have your lights up, you got a little bit more time to get that going. Just wanted to remind everybody, this Saturday is Canada's Small Business Saturday, so hashtag shop local. Back to you in the studio, John. Oh,
well, before we go back to the studio tonight, on behalf, I'm all fogged up here. On behalf of Espresso Shots, we'd like to present you with this birthday mug.
What?
If I can get it out of here, there you go.
Oh, thank you, John. Thank you to the whole crew and staff at Espresso Shots. Look at this fantastic Happy McSunny mug. Streaming Espresso Shots live. Happiness is a habit. Thanks so much, John.
Oh, you're welcome, Happy.
Back to you in the studio.
Well, you're back with John, and so Jim's computer crashed on him on his end. That is a bummer. We had things all lined up to chat about the Lions Club tonight, and maybe we'll still catch him here. Maybe he can correct what's happening on his end, but you know, it's the internet. It is what it is. And I saw Bob Weir was. Bob, can I say your last name? I did anyway. Bob was having some Newfie Screech. So here I poured myself another one of these bourbons here. These are pretty light. They're only like 15%. So I'm gonna sip on another one. because the first one went by too quick. Way too quick. All right, so one thing we can chat about, there's been a lot of kind of confusion about the market in Westport, the European-style market that typically takes place on that Shop and Hop weekend, which is this Friday. And the Santa Claus Parade typically happens on the Saturday. But because of COVID-19, as I mentioned in the intro, those items have been canceled. And the market just got canceled recently. So Dave's asking me if I sell those mugs. Well, if people want to buy them, I'll be happy to order more. But that one was made special for Happy McSunny because it is actually Happy McSunny's birthday tomorrow, November the 26th. And hey, it reminds me that today is November the 25th. So 1 month away from Christmas. 1 month away. Can you believe that? That is crazy how time has gone by so quick this year. It's just amazing how fast it's gone by. But backing up to the market, Friday market has been canceled, but there are businesses that will be open late. So if you're looking to kind of get out on the Friday night and do some shopping, there are still some things planned in the village of Westport. There just won't be that market in the plaza, in Steve's Plaza where the Cottage Coffee House is and the LCBO is. So welcome to the show, Heather. What's in your cup tonight, Heather? I'm Happy birthday. Yes, we should all sing happy birthday to Happy McSunny. I think let's do that. I think I'm going to do that. let me get my happy birthday voice going here. So happy birthday, Happy McSunny. Oh, hey, look, we have Jim with us. All right. Things just worked out perfectly. I'm going to just pull Jim and put him into my screen here. And then we're good to go. All right. I love it when a plan comes together.
A little late, though, eh?
That's okay, Jim. Better late than never. Just let me get you all queued up in here. All right. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Thank you very much, John. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. I always feel bad when things don't work out initially, but there's so many things that can go wrong in life and definitely on the internet. So it's all good. And so, Jim, in my intro, I talked a little bit about the Lions Club, and I was trying to cover for you while you weren't here, so I had to have a second shot of chocolate bourbon. But we wanted to talk about the Lions Club, more specifically about the Westport Lions Club, because the Lions Club, I know a little bit about the club. I mean, they're a civic group that really, non-political, just really there to help the community on all levels. So, like, what the Lions Club is, Jim, and what they do.
Thank you, John. Yes, I will. I wasn't able to hear what you were saying, but just a very brief on the whole thing. Started in 1917, has 1.4 million members worldwide, 47,000 clubs, and in over 200 countries. But more specifically here in Westport, we started our club. I did not, but this club was started in 1946, so it's been around for a long time. You asked me in your notes what we do. Well, locally, to sum up, we actually have 32 activities that are assigned a chairman and often a committee. I won't go through them all, John, but 17 of them are directed towards serving the public in one way or another. Most people will be familiar with our beach and park, which we're very proud of. And a couple of years ago, we were actually noted in the local township that we had the cleanest and nicest park in all of the county. So we were very proud of that. We also have our medical mobility service, which is very popular with seniors. Of course, reduced right now for COVID, but we are operating. We have one van on the road taking passengers. So we have installed a screen between the driver and passengers, and they are required to wear masks. Passengers can bring a helper with them if they need help getting in and out and getting into appointments. We also provide the Santa Claus Parade, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about what we're doing this year. We provide Christmas cakes for seniors. Once again, I'll talk about that a little bit more. We often provide Halloween treats. We have seniors and food bank dinners that we offer people. Vision screening in the schools. So those are many of the services that we provide free to the public. We also have a donation committee that generates that receives the requests for donations, and in the past years we've handed out anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 in grants to sports teams, local services, quilts of valor, toy drives, and anything that's reasonable and that fits with the lotto rules, which requires us to provide our money for education, for relief of poverty or disaster, and in some cases just something that's good for the public, like the Santa Claus Parade.
Yeah, and the
now,
Santa Claus.
We also have several.
Nope. Go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead, John. Okay. We also have events that we get income from that help us to support our club. We do metal recycling. We have a volleyball tournament. We do some public dinners like a fish fry. We rent out our hall and sometimes even the beach for weddings or for family reunions. We also have some extra tables and chairs that we rent out from time to time. We have four draws this past year that are lottery based and require licensing. Those draws were surprisingly very, very successful this year. We actually toned that back on two of them. The $10,000 draw, we cut back on the tickets, and then on the calendar, we cut back. And in both cases, we sold out. Those two draws, we give out $20,000 in prize money, and we receive about the same amount that we used for mostly for charitable purposes. We also had Marty Hawkins had initiated, and the money from that draw for a TV is going to provide some new playground equipment for the beach area once we're able to get at it and do that. Anyway, that's kind of what we're doing. We also support some regional efforts. Through our own efforts, we have donated to, say, the hurricane that went through the Ottawa area. There was a young man in the Brockville area that needed an eye operation that only could be done in England, and he needed the expenses to get there, and we helped with that. So most of the money that we collect in this area stays in this area. I would say, 75 to 80% of it. But we do have some money that we send out to the region, and in fact to their international disaster relief, which spends millions of dollars helping people across the world. Okay, so that's what we do, and
That's
not really a nutshell. It's more like a coconut shell.
The Lions Club does a lot, and you go back. This is not a new organization. It's not a religious organization. There's not often people know really what they are, because it's not that it's a private club, but it's a pretty close-knit club. I mean, it's been around since 1917. I think it was started by Melvin Jones in Chicago back in the day. And the clubs are all around the world. So you mentioned the majority of the money staying locally, 80%, but yet there's still all kinds of things that are happening worldwide that you guys want to help out and contribute to, because at the end of the day, that is a part of our community. That is things that we're involved with and that affect us on a personal level and on a moral level as well. Right, Jim?
Absolutely, John. We're very proud of the fact that we're listed very high in the not for profit organizations and charity organizations. I mean, in excess of 90% of the money that comes into the Lions clubs worldwide goes back to the public in one form or another. We're very proud of that fact. So, our motto is we serve, and we do attempt to do that in every way we can. We have, for instance, restarted a program that we had going for years where we loan out medical equipment. So we are currently accumulating that type of equipment, non-motorized, the walkers, wheelchairs, commodes, that type of thing that people need often just for short periods of time. Rather than buy them, we're able to loan them out to them. So yeah, we're eager to serve. We're looking for more ways to serve as we speak. Our biggest issue really is we're a club of 30 people,
right?
Probably closer to 20 that are active.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not a one-man show, Jim. You are the president, I think, right? Am I right or wrong?
No, yeah, you're right. I am president this year, yes.
So, and I was reading a post the other day of all the different committees and subcommittees that you guys have set up, and I was amazed with how many committees you have, because you're right. It's a small group of people that does a lot of work. And whatever the event is, whether it was the last winter when you look at the shitty hockey tournament that you guys put together, the fish fry, the Mike Mandel fish fry is like something we always look forward to, and we missed it this year. And there's a host of them, and I know there's a bunch of guys, Marty Hawkins. You can mention all of those guys that are involved in it, but they do a ton of work along with Bob Reddick and I think Paul Thorpe as well, newer member to the club.
Yes, I will be mentioning a few of those people when I give you a report on the parade and on the Christmas cakes. But one of the things that had frustrated me in the past few years is that we tend to be going in several different directions at once. We get the job done, but I thought there was a more efficient way of doing it. So in the paper just a week or so ago, Bob Reddick had put an article in that listed the 5 vice presidents that we've established, that basically all of the activities the 32 activities are broken into these 5 categories. And we've got 5 vice presidents that are working with the chair people of these, and to try and streamline this effort so that I want to get more members involved and maybe take the pressure off the few members. It's a little bit of a reorganization, but so far we're getting great cooperation and expect to be able to move forward with some new initiatives in the coming year or so.
So let's go back to, we were going to talk about the Santa Claus parade or the Christmas parade and the Christmas cakes as well. Maybe we'll tie that up in one question. So what's the feeling right now in the club because of what's happened to particularly the Santa Claus parade that should happen this Saturday?
For the operation to explain our position. Once again, I'm very strong on setting up a committee and let the committee run that event. They'll report back to the club and we'll give them a chance to give advice. But for the most part, I want them to come up with recommendations. So the chairman of the Santa Claus committee, who did a fabulous job last year and had our best parade in years, was Paul Thorpe. Paul and his committee recommended that we do nothing that would attract crowds to our community during these times. The membership has supported this decision, or with this the recommendation, and made the decision to follow that recommendation. With what's happening right now, I think it's a wise decision. When it was first made, there was some people wondering, well, should we? We do have retail, we do have people coming to our stores, but in fact, I've answered a couple of letters and people question this. And what I'm saying is that in a store environment, and like yours, John, you can monitor the number of people coming in and being in there at one time. You can check on who they are and get a notification of where they're from. You can enforce or at least supervise social distancing. In outdoor event like a parade, we can't do that. It's impossible. We're inevitably going to have people who are going to be shoulder to shoulder, and in these times with the spread of COVID, that's just not a safe environment for our community. So we have decided to cancel that aspect of it. We did look at a drive-through parade, where we set up floats and have people drive by, but that still brings people to town. They're going to be doing dinner before or dinner after or whatever.
Yeah.
So what we want to do something. So I asked Paul in the committee to come up with something that we could, at least give the kids a sense that Santa Claus is out there and well. So what they've come up with is that on the 5th of December and the 19th of December, Santa Claus has agreed to stop by Westport on his way to the North Pole workshop, and he's going to be driven through town by our members, and we expect him here sometime late morning and late afternoon. I think he's going to have a chance for 2 visits. We can't specify the time because we really don't know exactly. So there'd be no point in people coming from outside of town to stand around if we don't know what time it is. But I am asking our members and through this media to let people know that he is going to be in town driving through, and to keep an eye out for him. Our mobility van will precede him and honk the horn and say, beep, 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 Santa's here. On the same days, he has agreed to swing by St. Ed's school and do a walk by so that the kids in their classrooms can come to the window and see him and wave to him. And pending approval from Rito Vista, we'll do the same thing there. So nice. We are trying to do something, but we're always with the mind of safety first, and with COVID spreading like it is right now, we can't take any unnecessary chances.
Well, it's great to hear, Jim, that you guys have put so much thought and effort into what you're doing and what you're not doing. It makes me feel good, and I know it makes everybody else feel good as well. I mean, nobody wants to miss a parade. Nobody wants to miss a Christmas. Nobody wants to miss an event, but we have to sacrifice a little bit to get to the other side of this. So let's talk a bit about Christmas cakes. This is kind of a cool project that you guys have been doing for a few years now.
Yeah. Well, one thing will mention too, before I move on to that, is that because we're not spending the money we normally would on the Christmas parade, we have made a financial donation to Robin Jones's campaign to light up the town. We are also looking at making donations for the Mountain of Toys, so at the Drinkles, and nice. There's a couple of other events that are happening in this area that we are looking at. So we intend to. There's no point in sitting on those funds that we would have spent. We're going to spread them around for as much Christmas joy as we can get.
Nice.
Yeah. The Christmas cakes is something that's been going on for years. Oh, by the way, I called Jim McGlade about the parade just to get some history on it. He says it was going when he arrived, and he arrived on a horse. In fact, I often thought he came in 1970. He's been a member for 50 years. Anyway, I often said that his membership number is 1, so he's been around for years. So apparently this parade has been going on for more than 50 years. And we're very proud of that, and we hope to continue it. And by the way, I have asked Paul to look next year at the parade planning and plan for 2 parades, one COVID and one non-COVID parade. So we'll see if we can. This kind of snuck up on us this year. We knew it was coming, but we just didn't know how long it was going to last. So yeah, it was hard to make definite plans, but we will move forward and learn from this year. Christmas cakes. Again, this has been going on for many years. It was reorganized a few years ago by Lion Michael Harris, and we now have an accurate list. We found that after a while we were delivering cakes to people who were no longer here, so we revised that list. We have our chairman, who's Dorothy Maynard, has ordered and is receiving in the next few days 300 Christmas cakes. These Christmas cakes will be given out to 300 people in our area that are over age 65. And a little twist this year, which we're very happy about, is that the students from St. Ed's and Rita Vista are writing out some notes to establish a possible pen pal relationship with some of the seniors.
Oh, nice.
And those notes will be included in the Christmas cakes. I don't think there's enough to go around for everyone, but it's a start. So we're kind of pleased to get the kids involved, and hopefully some of the seniors will write back to them and get some enjoyment and feel some comfort out of that.
Well, Jim, that works well on so many levels, because people got to get back to writing postcards and writing notes to people. And it can be a lonely time of year as you get older, and you feel, especially this year when you're feeling trapped and locked down a little bit, to have some communication that's not Facebook or not social media, some tangible. I think that's a great idea, Jim. A good idea.
Yeah, well, that came from the schools. That was their suggestion, and we heartily endorsed it. And so we are looking to do things. It's just that trying to keep us safe on one hand, and of course, we seem to have three sets of people in terms of COVID preparedness and care. We, on one extreme, we have the extreme, isolation, go nowhere, do nothing, touch nothing. And on the other hand, we have people who are, it's okay, it doesn't really bother me, I'm fine, we have no cases in our area.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then there's the middle, the fat middle, which is where I stand. I mean, it's like saying, I'm going to cross a road. Now, is this road County Road 42 or is it Highway 401? So,
right.
We need to manage the risk reasonably and still try and have a life without isolating yourself too much.
Jim, just as you're talking, I have some people chirping in online. Dave, Penny, they're all saying that's a great idea with the pen pals. Cynthia as well, Frank Huth as well. Great presentation, great ideas. So some really good feedback coming through tonight on what you're talking about from the Lions Club, Jim.
Good, thank you, John. It's nice to get that kind of feedback. It encourages us to move forward. So the Christmas cake program is live and well. On the other, one of the points you made, you asked what future events the Lions are planning. We actually have several projects in mind. And again, COVID is kind of affecting us, although COVID is also giving us an opportunity to spend more time planning them. We're not meeting as we normally do. We're doing Zoom meetings with the executive. We did a combination Zoom and in-person meeting at the club a few weeks ago, but technology was kind of like what we experienced today. It didn't work as well as we'd hoped, and we'll continue to try and do some of those things, but at the very least, we will have executive meetings with Zoom, because 8 people, it works reasonably well. But once we get 15 or 16 people with different technologies, it really got kind of messy. Anyway, some of the projects that we're looking at, we want to make some improvements at the beach and park. We mentioned earlier playground equipment. I'd like a small set of we would like a small set of playground equipment, slide, some bars and things. So when the kids are tired of swimming, or mom and dad wants them to come out of the water for a while and have lunch, they can go to the little play area and play and get some exercise. We'd like to see a second gazebo at the other end of the beach. That way we can have a gazebo or 2 gazebos and 2 volleyball courts. And that will service more people, but at the same time, it would give us the opportunity to rent out half of the beach for a private affair and still have the other half for the public to use, free of charge. So I have often used the beach for my family reunions and family get-togethers. And I usually run a tape down the middle, and I take one half and everybody else has the other half. And it gives us a chance to be alone as a family. And anyway, so we're looking at that. We're also looking at second gazebo. We also would like to set up a canteen at the beach.
Okay.
We're looking into different aspects of this to serve lunches, I think, but at reasonable prices, not exorbitant prices. We want to keep it, easy for people to be able to acquire these things and feed their kids a couple of hot dogs and perhaps some French fries. We're working on it anyway, but that is a target I have for next year. I also want to make sure that the washrooms are open next year. We weren't able to get them open this year because of restrictions, but I think we could work around that and we'll get them open. We also would like to renovate them and clean them up a bit and paint them. So those projects. Other long range projects, John, you and I talked about this years ago. We have this defunct trailer park up on the hill, and we want to look at, is it viable to reopen it? And if not, what else can we do with that property? We've also had a suggestion, maybe we could put in a few, lower cost rental cabins for people. So instead of it being $1,200 or $1,500 a week, it might be $700 or $800 a week. So give people a chance to get away for a week at a reasonable cost. So,
and Jim,
we're looking at those two things.
Let me just stop for a second. I got to say one thing before I forget. When it comes to, that's a great property up there. I love that property. I don't know if you ever had a chance to see my Espresso shot a couple years back. I did an Airbnb episode up there. Did you ever see that?
No.
I'm going to send it to you to watch. I think you'll really enjoy it. But anyway, continue on.
Okay. Well, it's a great property, and it just sitting there is of no value to anyone. So we are looking at that. But whatever we do, it has to be done as a business plan. We can't just go off half cocked, so to speak, and say, okay, we'll start this and start that. There has to be. So we have created, Michael Harris has created a format that if someone comes up with an idea, we can give them this sheet and say, okay, complete this. What's it going to cost us? What can we expect as a return? What's the benefit to the club? What's the benefit to the public? And how would it be set up? Who's going to look after it? How is it going to be run? So, so rather than just an idea, we want an idea with some meat to it. And then we can look at it and say, okay, we can proceed, or say, this is going to work. Now, I do have an exciting new initiative that we are in the process of starting, and it should be up and running in one format shortly, and I'll explain. We have acquired the use of the Tackerberry building outside on Salem Road, the glass building. Used to be an upholstery shop. The Tackerberry family have donated the use of this to us. I made an approach to them on a business basis that we would like to open a recycle and reuse center, something like Restore in Habitat for Humanity type of thing, where we will receive donated using you just want to get rid of, and we will do whatever needs to be done to make them resellable and sell them to the public at reasonable cost, reasonable price. And those funds will go to the club for, improvements to the beach or to other projects that we have going, whether it be a seniors lunch or a food bank or whatever. It'll be used, all of the funds will be used for Lions activities. We will move our metal recycling to that location, so it'll be easier to get at for people. We plan to maybe add, I don't know, I haven't looked into it enough yet, but add the electronic recycling. We will move our medical equipment loaner system over to that building.
Okay.
And so there's a lot more to come. Once again, we're in the process of just putting together a good, solid business plan. We will likely collect furniture and appliances over the winter, perhaps offer them for sale online. And then our target is May 1st to open a retail outlet. We're excited about that, looking forward to it. It could very well provide us with the income that we need to do the improvements in the beach area that we want to do. How's that?
But that's a lot of stuff, man. You guys have been busy over there.
Oh, we are. We're really busy. Yeah. Yeah. I'm reminded that at home here that maybe I should spend a little more time. Anyway, but we won't go there.
It has to be balanced out. We have to balance our lives out, what works. And you said this years ago, and you've said it a few times to me over the years, is you'll do what you can do, and when you're ready to do more, you'll do more. And that's the way life is. When time presents itself, you'll do stuff. And which leads me to my next question is, if people want to get involved in the Lions Club, whether they wanted to become a member, or maybe they just wanted to help, or maybe they wanted to donate some money to one of these projects, what's the best reach out for those people to do, Jim?
Well, thanks, John. Well, there's many there. First of all, if they know of a member, just approach any member and they will guide them through the process. Our current chairman of membership is Marty Hawkins, and actually Paul Thorpe is the vice president of that line of events and activities. We do have a website, westportlions.com, I believe. Anyway, just type in Westport Lions and it'll bring up the website. We're active on Facebook, so we can be contacted through there, through the Westport Lions Facebook page. You're welcome to call me. I'm in the book, Jim Scala, and whatever it takes, get a hold of us. Now, we are actively looking for two types of people. We're looking for members, but we're also looking for volunteers. Not everyone wants to be a member of a club because their perception is it requires them to maybe attend meetings and they don't want to do that, or be involved in any kind of administrative work. But they are willing to volunteer their time, and we would love to have. We plan to set up a more formalized volunteer crew, with someone who is a contact for them. We already have actually. Bob Reddick did a great job last year, or not last year, the year before, where the beach bathrooms and the beach was cleaned every day by a volunteer from the community. And it didn't take any of our members away from any of the duties that they're looking after. So, and now most of our drivers for the mobility are volunteers as well. So,
right, yeah, that mobility van is that's a whole challenge within itself to make sure that you have drivers and people can get the support that's needed there as well. So yeah, I mean, there's so many great comments coming in tonight, Jim. Just a lot of love for the Lions Club, and somebody mentioned it's between the Lions Club and the Legion, Westport is so well served on all levels. And I know you guys all work together with the different clubs and the different groups. And I've seen a bit of the Lions Club from the inside. It was a year that I had a little bit of time that I put a bit of time into the Lions Club. But as a business owner, it's always tough for me to put in a lot of time to things. And sometimes I feel I may be better served in the community in this aspect rather than joining a club. And I think that's what you're talking about. Becoming a volunteer versus a member is a vital point for people that maybe don't want to commit, but they still want to help out.
And we can use that in spades. I mean, as I say, but right now we have probably 20 active members, but we have these 32 chair people, and we've got 8 vice presidents, and then the president, the secretary, and treasurer. So we are busy. The ones that are involved. So
Nice.
the best way to take the pressure off some of these people is basically through volunteerism, and through the volunteering, they may very well find that they would like to be part of the club. That'll give them a chance to expose themselves to members of the club and get an idea of what we're like and how it'd be. By the way, that's something else I wouldn't mind mentioning. My idea of being a member is, yes, I want to serve my community, but you know what? I want to have fun too. I want to enjoy being a member. So we have initiated a plan where once COVID is past us, we want to have a monthly social meeting for our members, something that they could bring their wives or husbands to, or a guest. We would do. You had a great idea a few years ago with your, your open mic idea, you know, that kind of thing is something that would be great for a social gathering at the club. So I want people to know that joining a club like ours isn't all just work or commitment. There can be fun, if we organize it right. We do go to plays. We go bowling. We have also get involved in or not hockey, but golf tournaments. So that is something that we were planning to improve on in the coming years. So being a volunteer often gives people access to some of these activities as well.
Yep. Right on, Jim. Well, I appreciate your time tonight. Any final words before we conclude this episode?
No, I'm glad that you did approach me. I must admit, like many people say, they're not aware we have a beach. I was not aware you had a podcast. So
yeah. Well, I've been doing it live. I've been doing this live for about 7 months now, every Wednesday, and it takes me about a day to put a show together, and then half an hour to kind of go live, which is the fun part normally. But it's a lot of work, but I do enjoy doing it. And now you can tune in weekly and find out what's going on in the community and stay involved. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks again, Jim, for your time. Thanks again to all the Lions members who put their heart and soul into that club and keep the beach open for us people and the mobility van running, a beautiful mobility van that you guys have. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas, Jim. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, John. Bye now.
Cheers. Well, that was a great chance to chat with Jim. I haven't had a chance to chat with him that much in a while. Let me just pull some of this stuff out of the way here. And we can, there we go. There I am. So look, I have a little bit of chocolate bourbon left here. All right, so maybe tonight we're going to conclude with our outro. Nothing else seemed to work tonight, so maybe I could just run the outro and that'll work, and that'll be the end of the show. So peace, love, coffee. Tune in next week. As I mentioned, we do have Paul Miller with us. We're going to dive into some old Christmas movies, and one that I just watched last night with my wife, and Paul recommended it, and I really got a kick out of it. So thank you, Paul, for that recommendation. It was a good one, and we'll talk a bit more about it next week. Cheers, peace, love, and coffee. I'm out of here. Good night, Barb. Good night, Penny. Good night, Dave. Good night, Bob. Good night.